Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the Operation Ace Open. It is Hunted here, welcoming in Uplink to the broadcast. He's been hanging out with us behind the scenes all day today, and man, we have had some wonderful matchups.
Oh my goodness, have we had some games?
I mean, especially that last one has been certainly wonderful, and we welcome you here to the broadcast.
It is a fantastic time. I am so pumped to be back. And Squadrons Esports, let's go look at the bracket.
Yeah, let's take a quick look at that bracket as we are moving into the second semifinal. We just watched Splinter Squadron take down Gray 2-0. We've seen all sweeps so far today, and this time it's going to be Devastator Squadron up against Skull Squadron to see who will meet Splinter in that grand final. Skull Squadron, another team that has gone undefeated throughout the day today. Unfortunately, Gray Squadron was the other one, so we can't say that anymore, that there's multiple. But
True.
Skull Squadron looking to push themselves forward, but this Aces 5 Devastator team is not going to go away lightly for sure.
Yeah, definitely. I'm super pumped to see how these teams are going to be going up against each other, especially having those clean sweeps. And like you said, those last games were clean sweeps against each other, and Splinter Squadron is just destroying it. So let's see how this goes.
Let's jump on into the map ban, or the map picks, I should say, for these players. And not a shock that we are seeing literally the exact same maps that we saw last time with Sisubu, Essels, and Yavin. Just a little bit of a mix-up here. It looks like Devastator Squad going to take Empire side for all of the games, I guess, because Skull decided to play New Republic. So we're not going to be switching sides, which is kind of a relief for the two of us. We get to kind of go forward with that. But, you know, maps, I'm honestly, I'm a little shocked that we have seen pretty much the exact same maps all day today. It seems like these teams just settled to play here.
Definitely. I mean, I'm a big fan of Yavin. Originally, I wasn't a huge fan of it, but it definitely sold me at the end. It's like the final destination in Smash Bros. It's just the even playing field. It's skill versus skill. And it's interesting to me, at least, to see those maps and how we've got those same three in just different order. It's fascinating to see what people are really interested in that competitive map, what they're looking for.
No, I could not agree more, certainly, and I'm looking forward to seeing exactly how things go forward with these teams. As you take a look on your screen now, here is our first look at Devastator Squadron. Again, this is an offshoot of the Aces 5 organization. They had two teams in the top 8 today. They played each other in the quarterfinals. It was Devastator who comes out on top. Here is Skull Squadron across the way in the New Republic ships. And I wonder, with your experience against some of the pilots here, Uplink, is there, do you think Skull, you know, obviously it looks like they prefer New Republic. Does that, would that check out with the pilots on that side?
Probably. It's interesting how each player base has a preferred side. I know I am definitely more of a fan of the Empire side, but there are some key advantages when you go against something like when you choose to just be rebels and you go and learn that skill base there. So yeah, I'm very interested to see that.
Well, we are just about ready to go. Let's get underway. Devastator Squadron, Skull Squadron, locked and loaded. Map number 1 going to be here on Sisubo yet again as we take a look. 2 defenders, one for Swift, one for Jester. Oh, make it 3 defenders. I didn't see Dazu in that as well. So 3 defenders, a support ship in Raven Eye, and that TIE bomber for Rando for the Devastator Squad. And a nice, healthy mix for Skull. 2 interceptors, 2 fighters, and a bomber to start things off.
What are your thoughts on the defender focus on the Empire here?
I would imagine that this has to be an early tactic to get them on the attacking half. I would imagine they'd want to go one-on-one with some of these A-wings. However, Raven Eye does go down early, and that could be the turning point here. No support on the field. That's going to remove some of that shielding that he's able to provide. Rando is also pretty low. So Zaster as well. I mean, we'll see what Pilot Eric can do. Try to chase down.
Great name.
I don't think this defender comp is working out right now for Devastator, because part of what makes the A-wings so strong against these defenders, at least watching 1v1s and things like that between these ships, is that the A-wings get to pick and choose where they attack into these defenders, and when you don't have an interceptor of your own to kind of counter that by attacking you first, it kind of, you're almost a sitting duck, and we just saw that there. Raven Eye down again. Devastator Squadron really on the back foot right now.
Yeah, definitely. The A-wings are such a powerful ship and so useful in something like these tournaments. Like, if you can use them well and to great effect, they can be so powerful. And I think that's what we're going to be seeing as the differences between the defenders and the A-wings as we see the big focus here.
Let's take a look at this first attack here for Skull. They win the dogfight in mid. Here's a nice look at Hidden Gecko as he's got 1 HP or so left to go. Just able to escape. He's got 2 health. He does have a decent amount of shields. Gonna see if he can't get out, but there is.
Wasn't able to pull it off.
Yeah, there's the frag, and Devastator Squadron doing all they can to try to regroup here and push back. But right now, that morale bar staying pretty much in favor as we watch Geo try to chase down some of these defenders. And I'm gotta say here, Uplink, a bit surprised that we still see such good fighters in Swifty and Jester sticking with these defenders right now.
Definitely, that is surprising to me. When I used the defender, I wasn't as effective as these people were, so I led it to the wayside pretty quickly. But my goodness, are they doing a fantastic job with utilizing that? Like, I did not expect that to be the case here. They are falling back. The tides are shifting. So we'll see how they move to the defensive, if they are going to continue keeping those defenders or if they come back as different ships. Oh, we've got Lanier and the Bomber. And do we have any other changes? We still got Raven Eye with the support, so that's good to see. Still no support on the other team. Interesting to see as well.
I'm trying to think who would be the supporting player if there was one. None of those names really scream support mains to me from Skull Squadron. So not surprised to see some of the bigger ships coming out. This is quite an interesting comp. 3 fighters and 2 interceptors. It's not typical.
That's not something I normally see either, or even try to put on my side. Like, I think the last time we were together, we had a same kind of thing. We were mentioning how these teams, each one has a different way of approaching the meta of the game. Right. I'm very fascinating to see how well it plays out. Again, that support super important, but if they can make it work with this layout here with the 3 X-wings and the 2 A-wings, more power to you.
Well, the assault is still in progress here for Skull. We've gotten shields down on both now, but getting taken out. Hidden Gecko falling again. Retreating are the rest of Skull Squadron. Only Zaster and Geo really up. SSR is coming off the respawn, and everybody from Devastator looking to farm some more AIs. There they are, and back to the offensive as we are ticking down towards that 25-minute mark. We haven't really seen any games go terribly long this time around, which is a bit interesting.
They've all been so short.
Yeah, considering some of the games we've seen in the past, certainly interesting that these games have been so fast. But this, though, to me, and knock on wood, caster's curse. This seems like a matchup between two teams that it could take a little while.
Definitely. They seem very evenly matched. There isn't. I mean, we both had two in the previous matches. Splinter Squadron, while the other teams were really good teams, Splinter Squadron was able to go above and beyond and take it to the next level and finish it off so quickly. This one, it does seem like a more evenly matched pair up, which always makes it fun because you get that push and pull on both sides.
Right.
So let's see what they do here. We've got one out on full squadron and a full team on the Devastator squadron.
The attack is still on. That frigate, yeah, there it goes. One does fall as we're on board with Dazu right now, looking to zone out. Here he does did effective work there. Ends up getting shut down. I think he had a couple of players on him. As right now, it's Swift who is being targeted. And hey, I mean, we watched the defenders used to good effect on offense by Splinter Squadron in the last couple of matches. And right now I'd say that, this 3 defender lineup has done that so far here, especially if they can get this secondary frigate. I don't know. I'm going to reserve my judgments until, obviously the game is over. But I mean, so far the defenders have put up work, and I know Raven Eye has been keeping himself alive a little bit longer right now as well, and that really, really does help these defenders get out of sticky situation.
100%. On the scoreboard here, we've got they're keeping their deaths lower, but compared to the other matches that we've had, they are definitely higher on the kills on each side. So I think that's what we're definitely seeing here is both sides are having a pretty even matchup on how many deaths they're taking, and that's super important. Important is how much capital ship damage you can take or give, and then how few deaths you can take while doing that. That's definitely one of the keys. And we were talking about this right before we hopped on about all of the different intricacies that you have to take into account to be effective at Squadrons. You have to be, I think it was Silent Echo that said this, the productivity. You have to have the productivity in Squadrons esports. And you have to be constantly doing something. If you see a ship, you have to attack that ship. Maybe it's an AI as you're flying to deal some capital ship damage. And if you do that, see an AI, take a couple shots, you may not get them, but it could be valuable if the support flying behind you, if they take that shot and get that AI kill.
Well, speaking of support, Raven Eye is being chased down, though he's not in that typical support ship. He did switch out for a TIE fighter. Still the 3 defenders remain, and they're still on the attack right now, though morale not entirely in their favor. Unfortunately, I don't have the TAC map open on my side right now. I'm not sure what the subsystems look like for these ships right here, but a decent attack for Devastator Squadron, especially with both of these cruisers up. Though, shields are gone. This is going to have to be a pretty good attack here for Skull because there's not a whole lot of room for error.
Yeah. So I pulled up the TAC map here, and the left shield generator has taken pretty decent damage for the MC-75. Right shield generator, while it did take some damage, it wasn't as bad. But they did deal some good damage in that. We're going to see how they utilize this attack run. It's right here where we need to start seeing some damage for this whole squadron.
Now, do you think with the shield generators being damaged, as you mentioned, if Skull are able to squeak out a couple of, or both of these cruisers, right? Let's say they take down both of them. Do we see them focusing the power systems first? Or do they play, the standard meta where you're going to shut down the shields? Ultimately, I wonder that to open up some more hull damage to try to steal a win on this attack instead of having to play another.
They're definitely going to have to play it strategically. Like you said, that the main meta is very tried and true, but maybe they do start switching things up, because I think they're going to have to be getting creative to be able to. They've already taken some damage to those shield generators. They have to start switching things up, because this is a very important part of the battle here.
They need to keep themselves on offense already. It's going so far in favor of Devastator. If this switches over, this could be the end of the game. There it is.
Yep.
Devastator Squadron with a stalwart defense. And
they're
now
going to have to push that defense so hard here if they want to continue. And even if they do have a super strong defense, that's still, they have a lot to get back, even if they do get on that attack.
this MC-75, it's exposed now, and Devastator closing in. Geo unfortunately can't get back to the ship. Looks like, well, actually, I think he was able to get in there. Okay, yeah, I think everybody able to get resupplied. So this should be a pretty good hold here, at least start to a defensive here from Skull. They're able to get their loadouts. We're watching Jester as he is going to joust there with Zaster. As now Raveneye has that shield generator in his sights, looking to do some damage. But, I mean, that shield already just about gone. There it is. It's gone.
Yep.
MC-75 hull exposed. Can Devastator close out map 1?
I know, like we were saying, it was a pretty even matchup, and we were going to see a longer game, but I don't know if we're still going to see that. They were able to pull it so quickly into the opposite direction than we thought it was going to be.
After that first engagement, I thought Devastator was going to have to play from behind for most of this game.
Right
but
shield generator is left, and right shield generators are destroyed. Ooh, that is a rough spot for the Skull Squadron to be in. Now they're starting to get the power systems. Oh.
For anybody who may be new to Squadrons, as the power system goes down as well, those shield generators, when the sides are flipped, they regenerate, obviously, the shield on that MC-75. If you take out both of them, there will be no shields come next time, assuming you took the initial shields out already. And with those power, as you can see right here, as we're on with Raveneye, he's shooting that hull, that spacing in that hull, that's generated by taking out those power systems as well. So important targets to take down, as it allows you, obviously, to continue the fight, though the defense able to hold strong. But I've got to imagine, again, unfortunately, I can't open the TAC map, but I've got to imagine that MC-75 on its last legs, and Skull Squadron might have to play even more defense, just zoning people out from trying to end this one.
So I just pulled up the TAC map, and for reference to those watching at home, the Star Destroyer is completely safe on the Devastator Squadron side. Targeting is completely full on the MC-75, though the left, right, and right shield generators, as well as the power systems, are down for the MC-75. So if they want to win, I don't think they can. They have to take it all out in this round, and it doesn't look like they'll be able to do that.
And not to mention, again, that that you can still get hull damage off on the other side. Granted, it's much more difficult. Those lasers will burn you down quite quickly. But, you know, it looks like from that TAC map that we had pulled up on broadcast, that Skull Squadron's keeping one player at home, just trying to deflect any kind of last-minute dives here from Devastator. But they are going to put on some decent damage here. We're on board with Sasters. He's going to try to take down the shield gen. That will fall in. That's an important piece of the puzzle. Nice. But the attack switches sides. That's going to be huge. As let's take a look. Devastator Squadron, just about 20% or so, maybe a little bit more, 25% or so left on that MC-75. This very well could be the end of map 1.
As Skull Squadron, what can you do in this location? Like, what can you do in this situation? I don't know what. Like, you have to knock out the entire Devastator Squadron and keep that AI away. You have to have such a strong offense as defense here.
You have to shoot ships and don't get shot by other ships.
Yeah, exactly.
Kind of how it comes down to it. But looking at the MC-75, it is heavily under fire. Will this be enough? Rando, oh, he gets taken out, but I think that'll just about
It's
do
there.
it. There it is. Devastator Squadron
Wow.
take map 1. It was a bit closer than some of the other maps we've seen today. But after the lead they took, they never looked back, and they're 1 map away from a date in the grand finals.
Rando with 42 AI kills. Like, that is how you become an effective Squadrons player. 42 AI kills and then 48,000 capital ship damage with another with 46,000. Like, that is a good match there. I have a question for you. We've seen they were very effective with the defenders. Why no B-Wing?
That's a good point. And you know, you go back to what Silent Echo kind of talked about in the previous matchup, as well as that, you know, if we see a large number of defenders, there's likely going to be a B-Wing because it kind of hard counters that defender with the Ion. But we didn't see that. And, you know, you kind of stole my thunder a little bit there. I think I was going to ask you that question, is why didn't we see any B-Wing counter picks? And I agree with you. Now, Skull Squadron, again, they seem like a team who wants to be on New Republic. Perhaps they have a game plan that didn't necessarily work in that game. Maybe Devastator Squadron, you know, with the meta, how new it is and how new these teams are to one another, I have a feeling that, you know, some weird metagaming is happening between these teams, and like Devastator played Skull or Dre or whomever earlier on, and they didn't show all of their strategies, and now they're just like, oh yeah, we're gonna go 3 defenders every time, and you're not gonna do anything about it.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I think Skull needs to make a change, and I think that you're right with that B-Wing could be, you know, it's potential. I just want to see it. Maybe you know, maybe they just don't have anybody who's confident in that shit.
I know personally, I definitely still prefer the Y-Wing. It's the real problem with the B-Wing is it's basically a flying shed.
Yeah.
So
true.
you have to utilize it to its strengths, which is that brute force. But if you have a lot of very fast ships on the opposite side, you can struggle with it. So I hope with this next game we see Skull Squadron with at least 1 B-Wing. I would love to see someone try it at least. I mean, we've got the effectiveness with the defender, but like, come on guys, it's a new ship. Try it out. Let's see. But
I would certainly love to see that as well. We're heading on in to Essel's here for map number 2. If necessary, Yavin awaits on the horizon between these two teams. And yeah, you're right. I think the maneuverability, obviously, of the defenders is kind of the biggest thing that makes them tough to kill, and it sort of takes away some of the options you have to play point defense. And now I'm going to make a suggestion, and I don't know if this would necessarily be a smart suggestion. It's just kind of something that I'm just trying to solve this game if I was in the shoes of the New Republic. But what about turrets? Utilizing turrets a little bit more for that sustained damage to try to force the defenders to take engagements they might not necessarily want, or retreat from positions they're holding.
Yeah, that would be a good strategy. I don't know. Again, with these new ships, I think we're still figuring out kind of where the places are in those matchups. We saw Skull Squadron with a very offensive focus with the 3 X-Wings and the 2 A-Wings. I don't know. I hope that they try to mix it up a little bit. Maybe that's their problem. I hope that they come back, they switch up, they come with a new strategy, and they're able to push forward, and we get another matchup. I mean, it's fantastic to see the skill with these teams going clean sweeps with how these games have been going. But come on, guys, we can't have 2 clean sweep teams the entire game. I want to see some back and forth here.
Well, I mean, to be fair, Devastator Squadron, they come into this one, if you look at the standings of the group stage, they come into this one as kind of the underdog team. Again, Skull Squadron hasn't lost a game so far today, and they're one map away from seeing their tournament lives end in the semifinals. So we're here on Essel's. It's a big map, a lot, obviously, to play around.
Hmm.
It's a little bit different than Sisubo and Yavin in that regard. So I'm not quite sure which team picked this map. I want to say this was a Devastator Squadron pick, but
I think it was Skull Squadron, right? Wasn't it Devastator, Skull Squadron, and then Devastator? Is that how it went?
I'm not entirely sure. I'd have to take a look at that again. Either way, it is going to pose a different challenge.
Oh, definitely. The gameplay that you have to switch up for this match with this map is it's different from all of the other ones because you have such a wide berth of space in that central area where you have a lot of open areas, but you can weave in and out of it. So
Right.
I don't know. We'll see if they can, if it was Skull Squadron, what their plan is, if they can actually, they're on their map, they're on their team. Is this where their strategy comes into play, or will they be able to bring it back from that loss? Because I don't know if they had the clean sweeps the rest of the tournament so far. Are they like, oh my gosh, we just lost, what are we gonna do?
Yeah,
I think that strong offense from Devastator is going to be very important here.
Well, they will have the first attack, will Devastator Squad in the Empire ships. As we are on board with SSR right now, playing a little bit of defense. 2 bombers, I believe pilot error was in one as well. It could have been Geo. I don't think so. I think Geo is pretty
strong on that
exclusively
A-wing.
an interceptor player. So, but the bombers coming out, still no support.
Yeah,
Just always have to point that out. I'm one of those people that still
Same
think
here.
the support is such
I
a
can't play it.
necessary figure in these matchups. But
yeah. If you have if you're playing Squadrons and you have a team together, appreciate your support players, guys. But on Devastator, we have let's see here, 3 defenders, a support, and a tie. Like that's fascinating to me to see that strategy.
well, didn't do too much there on the attack. The Skull Squadron able to flip it quite quickly, and now we'll see them regroup. SSR looks like he may be changing ships. We'll swap over to that interceptor. So there goes one of the bombers. Zaster also going to get restocked, and another potential loadout switch.
Oh,
Wouldn't
yep.
be surprised. Yeah, here come the fighters, and not surprised when on offense. It's kind of interesting, but against these defenders, those bombers are just they're such easy targets, especially with ion weapons, things like that. That those defenders, they're kind of like bomber, or I'm sorry, not defenders. The X-wings, the fighters are kind of like bomber lights, but with a bit more maneuverability.
Yeah, definitely. You can beef up those X-wings to be basically more maneuverable bombers there. Like you can with the right attachments, you can be super effective. Just depending on how you want to approach the game. And we also have Rando Lanier as a bomber on the other side. So we switch up there as they move to defensive. Devastator's doing a really good job of pushing back the Skull Squadron here as they go to attack.
That was another great defense. I mean, they did get some decent damage. We'll say that. I think one of the cruisers is about half hull. So, I mean, pretty even attacks on either side, though. I do think Skull Squadron might be in a bit of a better position, especially if they can come off the respawn as a unit. Right now, we're watching Hidden Gecko try to get away. He's going to have to try to regroup with his allies here, but I do kind of want to take a look at one of these, either Swifty or Jester. Yeah, here we are on board with Jester now. I want to see what the approach is right here against these frigates. It looks like Jester's going to play the role of zoning and trying to keep SSR off these AI targets, which is smart. I wonder who of the group is going to be focusing down those assault frigates. I mean, it could very well be Raven Eye in this situation, funny enough, in that support.
Yeah. What are they going to do here? We've got Swift out of the action here. We've got 2 off on the Skull Squadron side. What are they going to do? Doing some decent damage. Like they're utilizing that run to great effect here. I think they're doing a little more damage than Skull Squadron did last attack phase. Uh, Are they focusing on one trying to take it down, or are they splitting their defenses or offensives here?
To me, I think with Swift going down, I think it kind of broke up that attack a little bit. As you can see, yeah, they're starting to retreat. Swift
Oh, yeah.
now coming back into the fight here, trying to get some rockets down on Hidden Gecko. I liked the idea that we saw. We've seen Zaster get a little bit targeted by these defenders again. It's that bomber versus defender matchup. The defenders are very much more maneuverable, but at the same time, Zaster's going to be doing a ton of AI damage, so it's important to get him off the field as well. So, yeah, I mean, pretty good attack here from Devastator. They've got all of the shields gone for both frigates. Frigate A, very, very low, as we are on board with Pilot Error trying to shut down these incoming attackers. But I think it's just the, it's been relatively even as far as kills go. As I say that, some AI, or I'm sorry, I think that was the Corvette that went down there. But the AI kills have not been coming out from Skull Squadron, and Devastator's taking full advantage of it right now.
Definitely. They aren't using the bomber to the greatest effect there against taking down the AI. I think, too, one of the things is they've been targeting them so hardcore, trying to stop them from doing so. So they're doing a good job on that. Skull Squadron's starting to build up a defense there.
I mean, it forced the switch from SSR again. I don't see what the advantage is of playing a Y-wing into 3 defenders.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe they have an angle that I'm not seeing, but right now they are on the back foot quite heavily. The MC-75 is exposed. They did take out Dazu. That's a good
that was
good
a great run for Devastator there.
Yeah. But, I mean, Devastator now going to fall back, and, I mean, all you've got to do is defend and try to load up once more.
Yeah, they're in a good spot, too, because they've still got the shields on C with full health. And D, well, D is definitely in a hurting situation. It's about 55% health, no shields, so I think D could be taken down pretty quickly there. But yeah, defense here is definitely going to be key for Devastator Squadron. Will Skull be able to deal a ton of damage? I'm not sure. They did switch back to their attack layout here with the 3 X-Wings and the 2 A-Wings.
Oh, one thing I did notice, sorry to cut you off there, one thing I did notice, while Skull was getting regrouped, it took them a little while to get everybody ready, and Devastator was just laying into that Corvette. And that I think the Corvette's already gone. Yeah, I think it's done. One of the cruisers does go down, but you talk about morale, though they are able to keep it pretty heavily in favor of the Republic side, but that Corvette soaks up a lot of damage, and if you let it go for free, it can really hurt your attack, though they're making the most of it here.
Yeah, it's also a good target, even if, you aren't able to, it's not dealing a lot of damage, but it could possibly have Devastator Squadron occupied at least. That's where I see it for the Skull Squadron, but they didn't even have that. It didn't even get really close enough for them to be able to utilize it to that effect. So they're doing some damage on C. Pretty even, surprisingly so.
This attack is huge, and we don't see any bombers. We're as you mentioned, we're back to that 3-2 setup fighters to interceptors right now. There goes SSR after getting shelled by what I would assume is one of the 3 defenders that still patrol the skies, but they didn't take down the cruiser. One cruiser still lives. They do end up getting it. Okay, they get it.
Okay.
On
That's
the opposite side. There. So that you're right. That is absolutely a huge piece. And now, with the MC-75 pretty much at full health, obviously Devastator gets the first crack at it, which is always going to be an advantage. But we're pretty much back to even here.
Yeah, they did a fantastic job of evening the playing field. I didn't think that they would be able to do all that they did, but they were able to bring it back and level it all back to a good location here.
Look at that. Nice picture-in-picture there for you.
That's beautiful.
Little tack map there on the bottom, and yeah, you can start to see the swarm coming in, though. Might be a couple of players overcommitting here from Devastator. Actually, could be trying to find the distractors. Here comes the rest of the unit. Hidden Gecko in a bit of a tough spot. He's going to try to fly this one away, drawing the attention of Swift, which keeps him off that MC-75, though the shields are pretty much gone. Disaster falls in the wake of that as well. Nobody down yet for Devastator. Rando's probably on his way back to his ship, though, as now Swift doing a lot of damage, and this MC-75 in a lot of trouble. I don't think they've gotten the shield generators yet, but the shields are gone. The hull is taking damage. Devastator looking to punch their ticket to the grand finals.
Left shield generator is so close to being destroyed. Oh, there it goes. Oh my goodness, that was such a powerful run there. That right there is a sign of a very effective team. Like they all came together and were able to deal a lot of damage really quickly.
We're on board here with Rando as the right shield generator goes down as well. No more shields for the MC-75. However, the supporting Corvette does eventually fall.
I think we're going to see a shift here really quickly. Yep, there we go. Gold Squadron. This is their moment. I think if they want to finish this off, they have to go now.
Power out too. Tower is gone as well with his dying breath, but everybody's dead from Devastator. This could be huge right now.
They need to go team up and do as much damage as they can while they are still respawning.
And they need to find kills off the spawn, but they're using this time. As you look at that tack map, you can see the MC-75. The only thing it has left is that targeting as we get the picture-in-picture of the picture. That was cool. That was like extra tack map, man. But you can see already the assault on that Corvette is starting with a Star Destroyer now. And I mean, this is so close. Skull Squadron still in this game. They need to do a lot of damage. Pilot error is down.
They'll do it.
But the shield generators are going to come under fire here first. Zaster's actually going to have to turn off. He didn't quite get the angle he wanted there, I'm sure. Swift going to be in his targets. I'm assuming that's the player who was shooting at him there. As this is going to be pilot error coming from below. Couple of nice bombs. And there it goes. One shield generator gone. But look at how fast this morale is switching. Everybody's going down from Skull. Devastator. Can they fend off this attack? It would be huge if this other shield generator doesn't fall.
Pilot Air is doing a fantastic job of bobbing and weaving and being very effective until his end, obviously. But Zaster going in, going back to the MC-75 as they prepare to defend. Ooh, that was... They started off strong. They did a really good job of starting off strong, doing some quick damage, taking out one shield generator, but my goodness, were they not able to take it to full effect there as they are going back to the defensive. Oh, there goes SSR. Two out of the field. Pilot error trying to go back.
And this looks like this is going to be it. It looks like Devastator has done it here. They are going to sweep Skull Squadron. The MC-75, nothing it can do on its last legs. Every system is down. The Raider is unloading on it as well. Devastator Squadron going to knock out Skull in the semifinals, and we won't have an undefeated team today. My goodness, well played. Another 2-0 series, and it's Aces 5 through to the finals.
That was sticking in the knife, and then that Raider coming up was twisting it. That was beautiful to see if you were rooting for Devastation Squadron. If you're rooting for Skull, that was not good to see. But yeah, I'm fantastic. Goodness gracious, did they do a fantastic job at pulling it around.
I'm so looking forward to it. Splinter Squadron versus Devastator Squadron in that grand final. I mean, both of the semifinals were extremely exciting. I was kind of hoping we would get to Yavin in that matchup, but you know, with how well both of these teams have been playing and kind of how the metas that they've been playing today, we'll see them clash here in a little bit. I don't know, man. I'm hopeful. I'm really hopeful that we see 3 maps to decide things today.
I was really hoping for that final Yavin. I think that would have been super fun to see, but we didn't get there in the end.
It's unfortunate, but that is going to do it for our semifinals. We have one more matchup, the ultimate match here in the Operation Ace Open. Splinter Squadron and Devastator Squadron battle it out in the grand finals. We'll be back in just a minute.